Welcome, friend, to our program Celebration of Success, where we interview successful people, celebrities, subject expert, domain expert, some people who are doing great work for the community, and so on, so that we can learn and get motivation from them. And today we have a person who is doing a phenomenal job, which is dear to everybody. So you have a home, food, and clothing, and he looks after main home, and in a great way they are doing, and he's doing it internationally. And we welcome Mr. Rajan Samuel. Rajan ji, you're welcome to our program. Thank you so much for coming. So Rajan ji, we would like to know your journey and what you are doing today.
Many thanks, Ajay ji, and Namaskar. Thank you for having me on your program. My wish to be an impactful leader is inspired by a singular aspiration in my life: to be a good seed. A good seed grows into a tree, gives shades, flowers, and bear fruits. From them come more good seeds, ensuring purpose, passion, power, and perseverance, what I call 4Ps.
Wow.
Become a mainstay in the lives of the people I work with or mentor. Let me elaborate the 4Ps a bit further. What is purpose? Striving for significance, not just for success as defined by others. Like a lighthouse that guides ship to shore. What is passion? Passion is to serve those who are underserved, underprivileged through shelter, sanitation, and other ecosystem intervention. Number 3, power. Power not to exploit others, but power to engage and empower the powerless. And lastly, perseverance, to take on challenges that sees the last mile connectivity to the finish line. Throughout my career as a development professional, transversing continents with footprints in over 35 countries, I have worked to deliver sustainable solutions for unique socio-economic issues, whether to be in Kenya, Georgia, or in India, where I'm based now, leading the housing nonprofit Habitat for Humanity India. What I've learned over my long career in development, finance, and housing is the need to support future leaders by equipping them with all the tools necessary to succeed through mentorship, counsel, and guidance. I believe that my journey as an impactful leader will not only be fruitful for the people I work with, but also enrich me with experiences and the satisfaction of knowing that I am a good seed that enable more good seeds to strive, thrive, and bear fruits. Let me now talk about what I do with Habitat for Humanity India. I'm the managing director. And in the last 39 years, what the poor have taught me, I want to put them into 3 verticals. Number 1, I've been involved in startup enterprises. I've been involved in starting a lending program around the world. So that is the first vertical that I would like to talk about. Number 2 is innovation and product design. No 2 days are the same for the poor. Therefore, it's important and imperative for us to keep our ears to the ground and design products and services that will impact those at the bottom of the pyramid. That's my second vertical. And the third vertical is, how do we scale the program? And when I talk about scale, We need to think about sustainability of the program, sustainability of the institution, and sustainability of the community. And another important driver is to ensure that whatever we do, all our interventions should have quantifiable impact. And when I talk about impact, I talk about two sets of impact indicators. One is a social impact, and the second one is financial impact. We talk about ROIs. Why housing is so important? Because we believe that housing indeed is the foundation for breaking the cycle of poverty. And in Habitat, we not only build houses, but we also build homes. What is the difference between building homes and building houses? A house is built with brick and mortar. You see walls and columns, whereas a home is built with passion, with dreams, with goals, and with aspiration of the people that will live in those houses. Let me talk about Ruth that I met a few years ago in Delhi. And when I met with her, she was still in standard 12. And I asked Ruth, what is that you want to be when you grow up? And she said, I want to become a lawyer so that I can fight for the people who live in the slums of Delhi. So our goal is not only build, houses, but also build homes for the people who are at the bottom of the pyramid. So we are talking about now why housing is so important. We talk about COVID and we always tell people, stay home, stay safe. But 73 million Indians do not have the luxury of staying in a home. So the need is great, it's huge, and the opportunity is also huge. So therefore, now we need to look at housing or shelter as an economic engine to revamp our economy. According to ILO, almost 400 million Indians have been pushed into the poverty pyramid because of COVID-19 and lockdown. So how are we going to create safety net for those who are at the bottom of the pyramid, who've been pushed rather to the bottom of the pyramid? So we can look at housing as an economic engine, number one, because it can create jobs. Number two, it creates income opportunities. Number three, housing is the second largest sector in India next to agriculture. So I'll stop here, Ajayji, and then, over to you.
Yeah. So very inspiring, and what work Habitat for Humanity is doing, and especially in India, because I know your organization very closely because we met a lot of time. So one question is that everybody has a desire to do some social service, do some good work, but they don't find avenues for it. And since you are doing in such a grand and big way, how can anybody associate with you and satisfy his need for serving others?
Yeah, it's a great question, Ajayji. As Indians, I think we have a moral responsibility to give back to the community so that together we can build a green, a clean, and a vibrant India. So there are three things that you can do in order to make a difference for those who are at the bottom of the pyramid. Number one, you can volunteer with us. You can give your time and volunteer with us so that you can engage yourself with the community. We have more than 9 construction sites around the country. And now because of COVID, we had to, go slow with this, volunteer program. But, God willing, everything goes well. And once the economy opens up. So I think that's the first opportunity. So all of us right now, you can be sitting at home and volunteering with us as well. You can, deploy your skills and talents through our work. The second thing that you can do is, crowdfunding. I think I've been talking to Ajay Ji, and he said that, because now all of us are used to the new normal. So even sitting at home, and if you have time, you can join hands with Habitat India, and we can create a page for you so that you can raise money through crowdfunding platform.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, peer to peer. So you
It's
can
a good
tag,
idea.
yeah, and you can, and then we can, link a, cause that is closer to your heart. And I think that's the second thing that we can do. The third one is, Habitat in India. We have other entities, who also work in terms of eliminating the housing deficit. Our vision is to ensure that every Indian has a decent place to live, and so we have another entity called TCIS, and they promote, housing ecosystem and provide opportunity for entrepreneurs to work with us. We have something called Shelter Tech Accelerator. These are startups around housing ecosystem. So if you are an entrepreneur and you want to start something which is going to impact the housing ecosystem, so you can join hands with us. So because that has a multiplier, effect, because it can create jobs for people and it can also impact the housing deficit. So I think all of us, like I said, have a responsibility, and you can join hands with us because the need is great. In the last 38 years, Habitat India has impacted 36 million Indians through shelter, through water and sanitation, wash, through disaster response and risk reduction. And volunteering is part of Habitat's DNA. And whenever I meet volunteers, you come as a volunteer, then you become a supporter because you are talking to your, the communities, and you are engaging with the community. Either you're putting the bricks together, or you're mixing the cement, or you are just talking to the community or to the home partners, and encouraging them. So in the process, you get motivated, because end of the day, all of us, every Indian aspires to own a house. And there is an emotional connect in terms of when you talk about owning a house. So what we are doing is, so you can join, the movement and join hands with Habitat and make sure that a person, a needy family who are living at the bottom of the pyramid are able to move into a house, that we are able to help them to fulfill their dreams and aspirations.
I believe that's a great opportunity for everybody. Now, Rajanji, there are many organizations, many associations, even many companies with CSR fund. Now, how can they collaborate with you for this a great cause?
Yeah, thank you, Ajay. It's a great question. So collaboration is the need of the hour. We need to join hands with each other. We need to create an environment, a culture where we can partner with different organizations. We can identify synergy and convergence between different organizations, both for profit and non-profit, so that we can take a village or a block or a panchayat and identify the needs, and based on the needs assessment, based on the blueprint that we can come out with, then different agencies can decide their roles and responsibility, right? And let me give an example from Karjat. Now, Karjat is not too far from Mumbai. It's 2 hours drive, and we've been in Karjat for the last 15 years, and we have done shelter, housing interventions. We have done water sanitation. We have given water wheels. We have done water lifting projects. We have done literacy projects. We have done financial literacy and digital training. We have done livelihood projects. We have done solar projects. We have done, watershed management program. We have done more than 15 interventions. And what is important, what is the need of the hour today, post-COVID, is that we have to ensure, that these activities are integrated, and what I call is the 360-degree integration, so that we are able to promote a holistic intervention, because we're not only looking at a need, but we are looking at the needs of the community, number one. Number two, while we focus on the family, empowering, equipping the family, we are also looking at the community as such. As someone said, you equip a family, then you are empowering a community. You engage a family, you are empowering the whole community. So therefore, if 10 or 15 organizations can come together with different skill sets, with different expertise, with different resources, then we can impact an entire village or a block or a taluk or a panchayat. And then the second thing, what is interesting about 360-degree engagement is that we can think of integrated clustered approach. What is clustered approach is that we have a long-term plan. We're not only talking about short-term goal, year one and year two, but we're looking at a holistic, a strategic, integrated projects which can, which can go on for about 5 years. So we have clear indicators, clear milestones, clear interventions, and what is the output, what is the outcome you envision after 5 years. Now everything is captured in a strategic business plan or a blueprint or a roadmap for the particular community. And what is interesting when I say integrated holistic approach is that we need to put people at the center of everything we do. We need to put the community. So it has to be a demand driven products and services that we need to offer. So we need to engage the community, engage other stakeholders, including the panchayat leaders, including the government, officials and other stakeholders, so that there is ownership of whatever we do from the community, from the stakeholders, from the donors, from other stakeholders who are going to be part of this journey.
Good. So there is a lot of synergy available for this type of collaboration, and all people who have CSR fund, organization, NGOs should look at it. The last question is, since the startup everybody is promoting and there is a lot of buzz around the startup, so please throw some more light so that lot of people who have aspiration to start in startup can associate with you.
Absolutely, Ajay Jain. Well, number one is, when you thinking of a startup around, shelter, around the shelter ecosystem, housing ecosystem, and number one is it has to be demand driven. So either you're talking about roofing, you're talking about flooring, you're talking about, prefab, you're talking about 3D printer technology, you're talking about, distribution of water. So it has to be demand driven. So you have to look at a particular community and ensure that we are actually responding to a felt need of the community, number one. Number two, it has to be economically viable. And if it's not economically viable, you won't be able to scale it up. Therefore, so the market opportunity has to be looked at more in terms of the bottom line. I think we're talking about triple bottom line. One is profit, of course. The second one is impact. And the third one is sustainability. So if impact is going to be the bottom line for the startup, I see that profitability and scalability, are trade-offs. So I think the startup enterprise has to focus on creating an impact, creating a long-lasting impact in the lives of the people that we serve. And the third one is, what is interesting about Habitat is that we will be able to provide a lot of support. And so if you are, doing it in India, and TCIS has a global footprints, so anything that you're going to do in India, and if it really works, we'll be able to help you to take your products, your services, your innovation to outside the boundaries of India. It could be a regional, yeah. So I think that is what you need to keep in mind. Because we live in a global village. What works in India definitely will work in Mexico, and what works in Poland will definitely work in Bangladesh. So of course we need to keep the culture, context, and the community in mind. But I think by and large, what we have learned in the last 40 years is some of the intervention that we do with the poor can be replicated not only in a particular geographical location, but beyond the boundaries and beyond all the barriers that we look at.
Good. So one more question. Since you are at the very pinnacle of doing social service and in a great way and in an organized way, what advice you want to give to lot many NGOs and social service organizations and their professionals?
Yeah, I think number one is, we need to have that passion, drive, and conviction to do what we want to do. I think, it'll be good for NGOs and those who work in this space, to basically revisit their mission, revisit their strategy, and especially now when you're looking at COVID and beyond COVID, how do we motivate and energize or recharge the people? Because that is very, very important, so that because otherwise, even in our own organization, we see that, people work a lot and then they don't find time or the space to recharge themselves. So I think it'll be good to take a pause and then, make sure that you provide an opportunity for them to recharge themselves so that we can do more. I think that's number one, Ajayji. And, number two is that I think collaboration partnership is critical, not only within the social sector, which in the NGO space, but more so with the non-profits, because when you talk about scale, when you talk about viability, when you talk about economics of scale and sustainability, I think we need to look at our operation like an enterprise. So how do we bring in that entrepreneurial skills and attributes and traits in the organization? Because, like I said, our bottom line is not to make money, but our bottom line is to impact people. And therefore, it's important to look at what are the business principles or entrepreneurial skills and attributes that we need to bring into the organization. And finally, the impact. I think we need to quantify it both in terms of social return on investment and also financial return on investment.
Excellent. So Rajanji, aapne in a very short time you have given us a very broad perspective of what can be done to remove poverty from the country and the world, and how can we also satisfy our desire of serving others. So audience, if you have any question or comment, you can write it on our video comment box. And Habitat for Humanity India is very easily found on any social media, or you can also write on our video comment. We will connect you with Mr. Rajanji and the organization. Rajanji, thank you so much for coming, and we look forward to see that you do your purpose very well. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Ajay, and thank you for having me on your show. And